Hello students. So today's topic is understanding distance and displacement. So as it is very common topic and we need to understand that what is the difference between distance and displacement, because the further topics can only be explained or can only be solved if you know the difference between distance and displacement. Okay, so let's start. So the first thing that you need to understand is what is distance and what is displacement. So we will start with distance. So distance is the total length of the path traveled. That means if you are moving from point A to point B, so how much path you have actually traveled is known as the distance. Okay, so let's take an example. If this is point A and this is point B, so the path goes like this. So this is the distance that you will travel from A to B. Okay, second thing, it is a scalar quantity because it does not get affected by the direction. It only have magnitude, but it is not affected by the direction. Now it is path dependent. What does path dependent means? That every curve, every turn that you take affects the length of the distance. So as you can see here, a person is climbing a mountain, so wherever he will go, like he's taking many turns, he's going up, he's going down, so all of these turns, all of these curves are going to affect the length of the path that he will travel. Second thing, that it is always non-negative. That means if you are moving from one place to another, then your distance can never be negative. It may be zero if you are not moving, but it can never be negative. Okay, so let's take an example. So if you are moving 10 kilometers towards east, so let's say you started from here and you moved 10 kilometers towards east, you reached here at this point from A to B, and then you moved back 5 kilometers towards west. So now you moved back 5 kilometers to point C. So how much will be the total distance? It will be, first you went from A to B and then plus you went back from B to C. That means your total distance will be 15 kilometers. So this is distance. Now let's talk about displacement. What is displacement? Displacement is the shortest distance that you travel between 2 points. Okay, so it is actually the straight line change in position. It does not have to do anything with the path that you are traveling. It is only the shortest distance between the given 2 points. Okay, and it is also a vector quantity because here I am saying the distance, the shortest distance between 2 points. So it does not have to do anything with the path, so it is a vector quantity. Let's take an example. This is point A, this is point B. Let's say that you have to go from point A to point B with this path. Okay, so the distance will be the path traveled. Actually the turns and all these things will be included in the distance, but if you have to find the displacement, then what will be the displacement? It will be the shortest path, that is this path between point A to point B. So this will be your displacement. So this is the basic difference between distance and displacement. Now it is path independent, as I have already told you that it does not have to do anything with the path. The path does not affect the displacement, the final displacement, because it is just the shortest distance. If there are 2 points, the shortest line drawn between the 2 points gives the displacement. Okay, second thing, that the displacement can be zero, can be positive, and it can also be negative. So that means if you are moving from one point to another, so the displacement can be positive, it can be zero also, it can be negative. Later we will do some examples also. First of all, let's take an example, same example that we took in the distance. You are moving from point A to point B towards east direction, that is 10 kilometers, and then you moved back towards west 5 kilometers and you reached till here. So that means the total displacement will be from point A to point C. So point A to point C, this will be your total displacement. So that means 10 minus 5, so your total displacement will be 5 kilometers. Okay, now I will give you a few examples on this, as we have talked about distance and displacement. If you are at point A, let's say that A point is your home and this is your school, at point B is your school, and you have to take a bus to go from your home to school, and there is path that you have to follow that goes like this. So that means first you have to go here, then you will go here, and you will go here. So the total distance that you are traveling over here, let's say this is 5 kilometers, this is 3 kilometers, and this is 6 kilometers. So if I will ask you what is the distance that you have traveled, you will say that the distance is equals to 5 kilometers plus 3 kilometers plus 6 kilometers. That gives you the total of 14 kilometers. So that is the distance. But if I will ask you what is the displacement over here, so you have to join from point A to point B. Okay, so this distance, as you know, it is 3. So what is the displacement over here? The displacement will be 3 kilometers, because it is the shortest distance between point A to point B. One more example which will help you to understand this more: the circular park walk. This is the best example that can explain displacement. Let's assume that you have a circular park and you are moving around in a circular park, and the circular park distance is 10 kilometers. Okay, so as you are walking in this circular park, whose total distance from point A, because you are starting from point A and you are also ending at point A, so your starting and ending points are the same, so the distance that you have traveled will be 10 kilometers. If we will talk about displacement, so how much will be the displacement? What is the shortest distance between point A and point B? As the point A and point B both are the same, so the distance between point A and point B is 0. That means the displacement will be 0 kilometers. Okay, so this is the example of a circular park. I hope that you have understood the topic, and for more such content, please book a free demo at the Genius Squad. Thank you.